Storm Amy, the first named storm of the 2025 to 26 European windstorm season, tore across northern and western Europe with ferocious winds, torrential rain, and widespread destruction. Originating from the remnants of hurricanes Humberto and Imelda in the Atlantic, Amy rapidly intensified into a powerful extratropical cyclone, battering the UK, Ireland, France, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Scandinavia. The storm claimed at least 3 lives, disrupted travel networks, and left over 500,000 homes without power. Named by the UK Met Office on October 1st, Storm Amy formed as a deep low-pressure system driven by a volatile jet stream and remnants of tropical cyclones. The storm developed rapidly, reaching peak gusts of 139 miles per hour, 224 kilometers per hour, in Folgefonna, Norway, and a central pressure of 942 hectopascals. Meteorologists issued yellow and orange alerts across multiple countries, warning of danger to life from flying debris, coastal flooding, and infrastructure collapse. Ireland was among the first to feel Amy's wrath. Éireann issued status orange wind warnings for Donegal, Galway, Leitrim, Mayo, and Sligo. Gusts exceeded 100 kilometers per hour, toppling trees and power lines. A man in his 40s died in Letterkenny, County Donegal, in a weather-related incident. Over 184,000 homes and businesses lost power. Dublin Airport cancelled dozens of flights. Schools closed across western counties. Localized flooding affected low-lying areas. Emergency crews worked around the clock to restore electricity, but some regions faced outages lasting into the following week. Storm Amy struck the UK with gale-force winds and relentless rain. The Met Office issued yellow wind warnings for Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northwest England, and Wales. Gusts reached 96 miles per hour on Tiree, Scotland. The Forth Road Bridge and Tay Road Bridge were closed to high-sided vehicles. Fallen trees blocked roads and rail lines in Dundee and Perth. Scottish and Southern electricity networks reported 62,000 customers without power. Ferry services between Éireann and Northern Ireland were suspended. London's royal parks were closed, and sporting events, including Edinburgh Rugby's match against Ulster, were postponed. Transport Scotland urged motorists to avoid travel due to reduced visibility and surface water. Northern France faced devastating winds as Amy crossed the English Channel. Mayo, France placed 6 departments under orange alert. Gusts reached 131 kilometers per hour on the coast and 110 kilometers per hour inland. A 48-year-old man drowned off Éireann after swimming in stormy seas. A 25-year-old man died when a tree branch struck his car in Éireann. Another passenger was hospitalized. In Hervey, Somme, violent winds tore the roof off a home. Over 13,000 homes in Normandy lost power. Authorities imposed highway speed limits and closed coastal access points. Rescue operations were hampered by dangerous conditions. Storm Amy disrupted air and road travel across the Netherlands. Over 150 flights were cancelled at Schiphol Airport, including routes to the UK, Ireland, France, and Scandinavia. KLM announced further cancellations for Sunday. Rijkswaterstaat reported flooding and detours on major highways including the A4, A2, and A10. Travelers were urged to monitor flight status and avoid unnecessary road travel. Code Orange and Urban Damage. Belgium issued a nationwide Code Orange alert. Winds exceeded 100 kilometers per hour. Firefighters responded to 90 incidents in Brussels, including scaffolding collapse and a statue falling in Jubel Park. Trees damaged vehicles and buildings in Hasselt, Aalst, and Kinrooy. Power outages affected several municipalities. Authorities activated emergency hotlines and closed breakwaters in Ostend for the weekend. Coastal havoc and 200,000 plus power cuts. Amy's final surge swept through Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. Norway recorded 139 miles per hour gusts in Folgefonna and over 100 road closures in western regions. Roofs were blown off homes. Trees and power lines fell across Trondelag, More OG Romsdal, and Nordland. Denmark's DMI issued yellow wind and rain warnings. High-speed trains between Aalborg and Aarhus were cancelled. Sweden faced 55,000 power outages and coastal flooding. In Vorapor, Denmark, kiteboarders in the Red Bull King of the Air competition soared 20 meters into the air, harnessing Amy's gusts. Storm Amy exposed critical weaknesses in Europe's infrastructure resilience. Over 559,000 outages across 6 nations revealed aging transmission systems vulnerable to wind and treefall. Rail, road, and air systems lacked redundancy, with single points of failure causing cascading delays. Rescue operations were hindered by weather, terrain, and communication breakdowns. Experts called for investment in underground cabling, smart grid technology, and climate adaptive. Amy's rapid intensification and wide-reach echoed patterns seen in recent years. Meteorologists linked its formation to the remnants of hurricanes Humberto and Imelda, which had devastated the Caribbean days earlier. Deputy Chief Meteorologist Tom Crabtree noted, "Storm Amy will bring gale-force winds across northern and western regions, with gusts reaching 70 to 80 miles per hour in places. Heavy rainfall over western Scotland could exceed 50 millimeters in just 6 hours, increasing flood risk." Climate scientists warned that warming oceans and shifting jet streams may increase the frequency and severity of such extratropical cyclones. Authorities across Europe urged residents to avoid travel during peak storm hours, stay indoors and away from windows, report downed power lines and fallen trees, prepare emergency kits with food, water, and flashlights. The UK Met Office and national meteorological agencies emphasized the importance of storm naming protocols to raise public awareness and readiness. As Storm Amy weakened over Scandinavia, cleanup operations began. Power restoration crews worked through hazardous conditions. Insurance claims surged, and governments pledged emergency funds for affected regions. In France, Ireland, and Norway, memorials were held for the victims. Communities rallied to support those displaced or injured. Around 3,000 properties remained without power on Sunday morning as Northern Ireland recovered from the impact of Storm Amy. It follows 2 days of amber and yellow weather warnings for wind or rain, during which 65,000 properties were without power at the worst of disruption. Alex Houston, NIE Network's operations manager, said, "We're now down to around 3,000 and doing our very best to get as many as possible reconnected today. At this stage, we would encourage anyone who has not yet reported their power cut to contact the customer center on 03457 643 643 so we can ensure all faults are reported and in the restoration process." The Met Office said that a gust of 92 miles per hour was recorded at McGilligan on Friday late afternoon during the storm, which caused roads to be blocked by flooding and fallen trees and schools to close early, with 18 reporting damages. NIE confirmed several thousand homes have been reconnected to the grid, with the majority expected to be restored by tomorrow morning. Alex Houston, NIE Network's operations manager, said, "Our assessment is that the vast majority of properties will be reconnected by tomorrow morning, but it's important to advise that it could be Monday evening at the latest for those circuits, impacting very small numbers of customers." The yellow alert for wind is still in place until midnight, so that has the potential to impact our restoration efforts and cause further damage, but we will working to get as many customers restored as quickly as possible. The Education Authority has said that as of 11:30 a.m. this morning, 18 schools in Northern Ireland have reported storm-related incidents to its maintenance service. These mainly involve damage to roofs and fallen trees. B38 Belfast Road has been closed to traffic following a partial verge collapse in the vicinity of Garlandstown Road and multiple instances of localized flooding along the route. Dungannon, the Maydown Road, near Benbub, has been closed in both directions after part of the road collapsed Thursday afternoon. Motorists are asked to seek an alternative route. Ballygolly, the Whitebridge Road. Ballygolly is currently closed due to the river that has burst its banks. Please find an alternative route for your journey.
Somewhere under there is a road and a bridge, but I would say that the banks have definitely burst.